All right, our last couple of videos, we were looking at the square of a binomial. Now we're going to look at the product, so we're multiplying the sum and the difference. So here's what we mean. What is the product of a plus b, there's a sum, times a minus b, there's a difference. Now the key is that it has to be the same first term and it has to be the same last term. So why don't we use the distributive property to multiply this out and kind of see where this takes us. We're going to distribute the a first. So a times a is a squared. A times a negative b is minus ab. Now let's distribute the positive b. Positive b times a is a positive ab. And positive b times a negative b is a negative b squared. So because of the sum and the difference, this is how it's going to work out every single time. Your like terms in the middle are going to be the exact same thing, but you're going to have a positive term and a negative term. So what do we get to do with those? They cancel each other out. They equal 0 when you combine them. So what are we left with? We are left with the a squared and the minus b squared. So if you are multiplying binomials and you have a sum and a difference of the same terms, it's going to work out this way every single time. So you can just square the first term minus the square of the second term. All right, so here's what this is going to look like with some values thrown in for those terms. What is the product of 5x plus 7, there's our sum, times 5x minus 7? So you notice we have the same first term and we have the same last term. Well, according to our pattern, all we have to do is square the first term, subtract the square of the second term. Now, when you square the second term, notice I didn't put a minus, I didn't make it a negative 7, although I suppose that would give us the same thing, because a 7 squared is 49 and negative 7 squared is 49. So yeah, you can do that if you want. We'll end up with the same thing. So we're going to square that first term. 5x times 5x is 25x squared. Your minus will carry down every time. And then 7 squared is 49. Done. All right, part C, how can you use the difference of two squares to find the product of 43 times 37? So they want us to multiply a 43 times a 37. Product is multiplication. What we notice is 43 and 37 are both kind of close to 40. So we're going to rewrite these. 43 is the same thing as 40 plus a 3. And 37 is the same thing as 40 minus a 3. So you can see we have the sum and the difference, and we're multiplying the sum and the difference together. We got the same first term and the same last term. So our pattern says you can just square the first term, minus, and then square the last term, and then simplify. 40 squared, just do 4 times 4 is 16, add on the 2 zeros, minus 3 squared is 9. And our final answer is going to be 1,591. All right, last couple examples here. Find each product. We are multiplying a difference and a sum. Doesn't matter with multiplication that this is in a different order, that the sum was second and the difference was first. Absolutely not. That does not matter whatsoever. Multiplication is commutative. That means you can switch the order of multiplication and get the same answer. So we can follow the same pattern when we recognize that we are multiplying a sum and a difference together. What we do is we square the first term, throw it on a subtraction, square the second term, and simplify. 2x squared is 2x times 2x, so that is 4x squared. The minus carries down. 4 squared is 16. Done. All right, 56 plus 44. If you have a plus sign in your notes, please change that to a multiplication symbol. We are finding the product here. So we're going to rewrite 56 and 44 as a sum and a difference. So 56 is the same thing as 50 plus 6. That's 56. 44 is the same thing as 50 minus that same 6. So we've got a sum and a difference. We're finding the product with multiplication. The first term is the same, the last term is the same, so we can use our difference of squares pattern. Pattern says all you got to do is square the first term, write down a subtraction, square the second term. 50 squared, multiply the 5's, 25, add on the 2 zeros. Carry down your minus. 6 squared is 36. And then a little fast math, we get 2,464.